live our life as we want to.
Question. So do you think that when Sutra said that the admonition was only supposed to be for, like, more intelligent life forms, that she was being honest? Or that we believe that she was being honest because it made so many Romulans crazy? Because Agnes didn't, like, kill herself, and she's not as strong as a Romulan. She's just human.
That's a really good question. I mean, could it be that Commodore O just showed her enough? Because
possibly,
she only showed, at least from what we saw in that flashback scene, Agnes only got basically, like, the watered down, this is what you need to know version.
Like,
and
robots, death and destruction, the end.
Yeah, pretty much. Whereas, like, Commodore O and her group of the Zhat Vash, like, they got the full admonition.
Right, okay.
Or at least a fuller version, and then that's what apparently drove them crazy. So, I mean, I guess you could make an argument for that. I do. The fact that Sutra could watch the whole admonition that included how to contact these people, and the Romulans never could get that far, I think that means that I think it was designed for artificial intelligence.
That's fair.
I think, and then, like, you think about how this planet that they're on with the 8 suns, and how, you know, they basically said it's not a naturally occurring thing. Somebody had to actually create this system. I would put my money on artificial intelligent beings being able to do that over, let's say, even highly advanced organic people. Unless you're a Q, then you could probably do it. But
but they're not. They're not exactly organic. They could take organic form, right?
True, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, they're not artificial intelligence either.
Yeah.
So
they're like,
I don't know what the Q are. The Q are something else.
Omniscient beings that could take form if they need to.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're like ghosts that can manifest themselves or something. I don't know.
So I do think that the admonition was designed for artificial intelligent life, because it includes, like, basically a way to contact them. So, like, why would they give that to the organics? Right. Like, it doesn't make sense. But
do you think we're going to see any more? Sorry, sort of getting off track from Soji or whoever we're going to talk to next. Do you think we're going to see any more of the tentacle artificial intelligence aliens that were starting to come through the portal?
You know, okay, I hope that we do, but the way that season 1 wrapped up so completely, I feel like we're not.
Yeah.
And that disappoints me a little bit, because it was so much build-up. Not so much, but there was build-up to this artificial intelligent race that was going to show up. I wanted to see what they looked like. Mm-hmm. And we only got, like, a little glimpse. So, I don't know. I would like to, but I have a feeling that we won't.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think we'll see them in season 2?
I don't. Probably not. Like, I feel like we may not go back to anything from season 1 except for our crew of people. You know what I mean? It's like, there's so many things that they could do. There's so many threads that they could pull back through season 2 that I feel like they're just gonna leave.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right.
That would probably make it feel more like regular Star Trek.
It's true. I mean, you're not wrong. It is. You are right. I think we're not going to see them, and that does disappoint me because I feel like that was a really interesting thread I would have liked to have seen more of. But I guess somebody out there will probably write some fan fiction, put it on Memory Beta, and you can read about them there.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? So talking about, let's jump over to Elnor, the Romulan / elf, space elf. I thought he was just so
adorable.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. He was just so cute. Like, he was just, a lot of that has to do with, of course, how he was raised in the Order of the Qowat Milat, the way of absolute candor. I don't know. I really, really liked his character. I do, however, think that he was severely underused this season. I think they could have done a lot more to showcase his abilities that they kept raving about. And we saw them when we first met Elnor as an adult. And then after that, I don't know, they kept separating him from the main group.
Yeah.
And that kind of bugged me because it was always like, Elnor, you stay here. Why? Why is he staying there? Like, and then even at the end, it's like, no, Elnor, you stay here. Why? I don't get why you keep leaving him behind. But anyway, I liked him a whole lot. I would have liked to have gotten more of him. But what do you think, Brooke? What was your thoughts on Elnor and the actor who played him, Evan Evagora?
I think he's adorable, and both the character and the person, because since I didn't get to go to that C2E2 panel, whenever I uploaded it to our feed, I watched the whole thing and listened to it or whatever. Yeah, I just think he was just an adorable little person with love in Star Trek: The Next Generation and everything. It's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but I really liked his character. And it didn't really matter that he was separated a lot to me. It's just that we only really saw him be able to do his fighting skills. We only really saw that like a couple times, and that was a little disappointing because although he cut someone's head off when we first, like, that might have been a little much, but like, he could have, I don't know, he could have been, we could have had more of him or something, like something different, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to having more of Elnor and him being able to be the honest, candid, badass elf he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely would like to see more of him in season 2. Yeah, I definitely am of the feeling that he was just underused. Mm-hmm. He was just really underused. And yeah, like, so we first meet him and they make this big deal about how, the Qowat Milat are like these like warrior nuns. And I was like, warrior nuns? I never knew I wanted this. And now all I want is warrior nuns. And then he learned like these really cool fighting style. And, we do get to see him use his skills in town that, when he decides to join Picard's cause. And then after that, I guess the whole idea of him being a fish out of water is kind of where they were going, because all he knew was being raised by these women. All he knew was being on this planet and living this life, and now suddenly he's in space and he's dealing with different personalities and different situations and
people telling lies or pretending, and he just doesn't,
not understanding. And I guess they more used him as comic relief, I think, in moments where it was like, there would be a lot of tension and a lot of, spy or like mercenary stuff happening, and then him being like, are we pretending? Mm-hmm. Like, and I think that was meant to be like the comic relief for us as the audience, but which is fine. And there certainly were moments where I laughed at that, but I don't know. I wanted more of this fighting element that it's clearly a skill he has. Like, why not showcase it more? And I hope we get to see it more in season 2. I really do. Yeah. Yeah. So I think like, I guess like that's what I'm most disappointed about, is just for this character that I knew nothing about, 10, 12 weeks ago, that I would have liked more of him now. I just feel like we could have seen more of him in action. But again, TNG did the same thing to Worf. They introduced this badass Klingon character. Mm-hmm. They never let him do anything. And, every suggestion he has, it's like, no, Mr. Worf, no. And then when we do get to see him fight, it's so few and far between. It's like, he's a freaking Klingon, everybody. Can we just, like, let him do his thing? And
I mean, well, and, Tasha Yar was the head of security, and she didn't get to do anything. And then when there was the prospect of her doing something really awesome, we didn't even get to see it because she died.
Yep. Yeah. And absolutely. That's another great example, Anyway, so I mean, there's not a lot to say about Elnor. I mean, I do like his arc. I feel like of all the people, he probably changed the least. I would say, like, even though he had to adapt, I think deep down, Elnor is still that kid who's like, I don't get lying, and I don't get subterfuge, and I don't get sneakiness, but I'm just going to keep being me. Like, that's all I can do. And I think of all the characters, he probably changed the least, in my opinion. He kind of stayed the same to me.
Yeah, but it's probably going to take him longer to learn anything, I guess.
Sure.
Just because, because it's... I say it's not so easy for people to learn to be deceitful when you've never have it, if he had to be. Like, that's kind of the thing that he doesn't have, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like someone like Agnes had more of a capacity to learn more things because she had, she'd gone to school and became a doctor of android science and was at Starfleet and got recruited by a guy and then dated him and this older man and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. She had worldly experiences, whereas he didn't really have as many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Experiences living in a tent with a bunch of ladies.
It's true, though. I mean, you're absolutely right. Him and Agnes had very different lives, and he was very sheltered in comparison. She may have stayed at the Daystrom Institute, but she certainly had more exposure to outside, just like everyday life than he did. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. I do want to talk a little bit about, we haven't talked about Raffi too much yet. Mm-hmm. Michelle Hurd playing Raffi, a really great character actor who's been in a lot of different things and always, in my opinion, takes really interesting roles and really plays them really well. What did you think of, I mean, when we meet Raffi, we do get to see a little bit of her backstory, of how she was Picard's basically number one during the Romulan evacuation. If you read the Picard prequel comic, you do get to see a little bit more of Raffi's personality there. But then when we see her in present